Hi. Hello, it is me, your secondary hero, #1 wandering VTuber, and today we're gonna try out our very first solo tabletop RPG. I've never played a solo tabletop RPG before. I've played a lot of TTRPGs. I've just never played this kind before. So, before we get into it, let me say hello to everyone. So, hello to Jab, hello Lobster, hello Fusion, hello Chomp, hello Fed, hello Chi, hello Lubar, and hello SGG. It's good to see you guys today. So, to very quickly explain what a solo TTRPG is, well, should I explain what a tabletop is? I feel like we know. Just in case, when you hear tabletop RPG, you probably think of Dungeons and Dragons, and that usually involves sitting around with a bunch of your friends and acting out in very silly scenarios as tieflings and dragonborn and normal human beings and things like that. There's also more futuristic ideas, so you could do like cyberpunk, like Star Wars, Star Trek, D&D, but with flying spaceships. There's a lot in D&D. But most D&D and most like RPGs in general, they require you to play with other people. Solo TTRPGs are actually a subgenre which allows you to play an RPG by yourself. For the most part, I believe this takes part in journaling. I think most of these are journaling kinds of games where it's a lot of reflection and thinking about what your character is going through at the time. You can almost think of it like a diary. And particularly in this one, in Helan, which we were playing today, this one is also a journaling kind of game. I won't be doing as much journaling, I think, as most people would be. Instead, I wanted to kind of... I know it's a solo RPG, but I kind of wanted to involve you guys as well, and also yap with you guys while I try it out for the very first time. You might notice also that I'm not showing you the actual guide for Helan. You see the map right there. That is official art for the game. However, I am not going to show you a single page outside of what is provided on the itch.io page. This game is only €2, so if you end up thinking that you might be interested in trying this game out, you can go to the itch.io page. I think I have it if you do !Helan or !TTRPG. You can pull up the link yourself. I think also on YouTube. Did I pin it properly on YouTube? Let me double check. I did pin it correctly on YouTube. Perfect. So if you ever want to try this out, it is very, very cheap, and it would be really cool to celebrate and support small artists, especially because this one very much says this is not made with AI, and I like that. But also, hi, how are you guys doing today? Are you having a good day? Happy end of the week. I hope you all had a good week. I hope. You were going to ask me something earlier if you remember what it was. No, I don't, but that's okay. Let's see. I'm getting pinged again. Oh my gosh, it's Offkai Expo again. Offkai Expo, stop pinging me. I don't care. Thank you. Anyway. Oh, by the way, I'm going to be at Offkai in 5 months? When is July? March, April, May, June. 5 months? Did I get that right? Wow. I think it's in July. Or is it in June? Anyway, I'm going to be there. You're not going to see me because I'm going to be in disguise, but I'm going to be there. So if you're also going to Offkai, have fun. You don't know how much I get in AI TTRPG. Ew. Ew. That's actually an ad people get? I didn't know that AI TTRPGs were being advertised. I do get other kinds of ads, which I think are ads for spicy AI-generated books. I don't know why I get those, to be completely honest and fair, because that's not the kind of stuff I look up. It just, I happened to start getting it, and then my friends started getting those as well. So it's not just me. I know other people who are getting those ads. Not sure why, but that's the kind of ads we get. I'd rather get I don't want to say I'd rather get the AI ads, but if I'm forced to watch AI ads, I'd rather see the TTRPG one over, like, the smut. I don't know why I'm getting that. Hi, zombie. You wanted me to go to sleep and then ask me, yeah, no, good thing you slept, right? You're all getting a healthy amount of sleep, right? Right? Well, if you're not, I hope you can hang out and relax a little bit if you're going to bed soon, or if you're waking up. I hope this is a chill way to wake up. So very briefly, to explain the premise of Helan, you are playing a... I don't know if I should call you a cyclist. You're playing someone who acts as a what's the word? Caravan? You help people get across the desert of your world of Helan, which you can see on the left side over here on my funny screen here. You do not want to ever go back to the city again. To quote... Actually, I think there's this very specific quote in the guide, so I will pull that up on my end, which you guys can't see. Ha ha ha. Alright. As the character, you decided to dedicate your life to accompanying travelers to their destinations in Helan. A past trauma has sealed your distance from any urban center. You don't need anything else. The gifts sustain your lifestyle for a few more weeks. Getting to know their lives and the world around you feels, in some ways, poetic and stimulating. Could this perhaps be your destiny? And also, I would like to say this is written entirely by David Lopez. It is based on a lot of different things. He lists the inspirations in the book. Some of it includes Journey and Sable. Sable being a game, and then Journey also being a game. So if those are your kind of things as well, keep an eye on this. When do we level up? That's the fun thing. You don't. I know it's very common to level up in TTRPGs. You kind of do have some progression, but a lot of the progression is something that you decide on your own. The main way that this game works is that you will travel to a region in Helan, which is the map you see to my left, and then you'll pick up a traveler. That traveler is decided based on a lot of rolling d6s. You'll see in my corner right here, I have a funny dice roller. That's a great start. This game requires entirely d6s, so any dice you might have from a regular board game will probably work with this one. You don't need to own, like, tabletop dice for this. I was looking through it. It says you need 1d6, 2d6, and then a d66, which I had to ask my friends what in the world that meant. When we finally figured out, you just treat the 2 d6s as the 10 and then the 1. Which is not a number I've seen before. But it made sense. I was thinking at first I could just use a d12, because there is a d12 available on this little roller right here. Whoa. Can I remove the dice? Oh, I can. Oh, interesting. Wait, can I roll multiple? Oh! I'm learning so much about the Google Dice Roller right now. So we'll do most of our rolling through a d66. I will not be using my real dice just because I want you guys to have the visual of rolling dice. But I thought about it. They're all nice and organized now. If you saw my posts on Discord or my twitter.com or my bluesky.com. D6 by 6. That probably would have made more sense to me. So after we get our traveler, we can actually generate what kind of traveler they are. This is not something we pick. This is something the dice decide, which I like. It makes it a bit more random and a bit more realistic. And then we get to just do, based on where we are going, we decide our weather and our journey. And then depending on how each journey goes, you'll have more or fewer chats with the traveler. Each conversation is resolved on that page, and then you can see interactions here that you can't see because you gotta buy the book for that. And then we might have a night stop, and the game describes the night stop as intimate, which I wonder what kind of conversations will be reflected on that one. After conversations, any problems, and the night stop, you reach the destination. The traveler's gift will be tied to their talent. Ooh. And then we get downtime. Okay. So, just to show you really quickly what's all involved in this. If you do buy the game, you do get a 16-page document, which has very pretty art, I must say. It's very, very aesthetic to me. Very, very gorgeous art. Very minimal. It's a color palette I really like. I don't know if you can quite see it. Okay, you can see it. You can see some of the things here as well. So it's not just humans that exist in this world. You can also have like animal people. You could be condemned. You could be a naturel. You could be a mountain. Well, some of these you can't be, is what I learned. But we'll see who we get when we get there. I'm very excited. Okay, let me go ahead and start. I only have 16 pages to go through, but at least it's 16 pages. Oh, I'm scrolling through to see what some of the dice rolls I have to do are. Interesting. Oh, I see where the 66 comes into play. Now that I'm like actually reading it, I get it. I see. Okay, wait. This might be a lot of me reading back and forth while I try to figure out how this exactly works. So you'll be very nice and patient. Oh, you know what? We need to roll what we are. Duh. All right. I have my notes available right here. So we get to actually make our character. It lets you choose to make your character whatever you want, but I think it's more interesting to randomize it. So, I also want to set up at some point the ability for you guys to roll dice. I wonder if I could do that right now. I don't want to learn through my program really quickly how to do that, but that's something to keep in mind for the future. Our character. We decide the age. Let me make that a little bit. There we go. It's a little bit easier for you guys to read. We get to pick our, well, maybe I'll just make the font bigger. Yeah, that's better. Because now I can actually decide sizing. Okay. Our character's age, their ancestry, and then I kind of want to leave their name and gender as a secret for now. It does allow you to roll if you want to pick a female name or a male name. I think it's more interesting if we start not knowing what that is. I like the idea of us kind of getting to know the character. You can't also just completely decide to be like, oh, I am Liar, I am a female, and I have this exact personality trait. Because you also get to pick your personality trait. I'm very used to in games just kind of playing myself. So I hope I can make that a little bit less like me this time. I have my own dice. You can roll along with me if you want. You won't know what you're rolling for, but you can roll. Wanted to try Brandon Sanderson's tabletop RPG based off the expanded cosmos. Oh, I've never heard of that. I've met a lot of people who really like space RPGs recently. I wonder why. Let's see. Okay. For our very first roll, we're going to determine how old we are. So, we are 1 year old. We are between the ages of 15 to 21. Do I want to play a child? No. Let's do 20. We're 20 years old. Actually, I think 18. Let's do 18. I think that gives me a little bit more idea of what kind of person they are. For our ancestry, next roll, that's also D6. 3. We are a sophisticate. Let's see what a sophisticate is. You can actually see this one. I'm allowed to show you this one. If you can read that. Can you even read that? Barely. All right. A sophisticate are taller than most beings, with elegant, stylized, and captivating features. Their powerful charisma allows them to seduce or manipulate with ease. Some fear them, while others surrender without question. Oh. I'm gonna copy that. I'm already kind of getting a picture of what kind of person they are, just based on that. But I do need a little bit more information, I think. Let me copy, please. Thank you. Sophisticates. All right. And then our personality trait. You can choose whatever does it. Ah, this is a 2d6 thing. So, for our personality trait, we get to roll once for what kind of trait we have. And that's 2d6. So let me go ahead and grab that. So 1d6 plus 1d6. So 4 plus 3 is 7. So our personality trait is professional, but are we good at it or are we bad at it? So the third roll, we are bad at being professional. What does that mean? Bad at being professional. So probably that means, well, what do you think that means? Well, I also see what this one extra thing is. Ask the oracles on page 10. Oracles. Oracles help answer questions when there's no game director or for resolving questions. Ooh. I think I don't need that for this particular role. Let's see. You can riz. It's not just about flirting. Let's see. Where is this? I lost my papers. Okay, wait. Bad at being professional. 18, sophisticate. And personality trait is bad at being professional. I think this is part of where that journaling part comes in, where it's you trying to train of thought determine who they are. The game does say you don't need to know right away or ever why your character has left urban centers or why they're traumatized and do not want to be there. But I think the nice thing about the particular roles we have is it kind of gives us some guesses for what they might be. So if I had to do it, let's see. Just 18, so just an adult. Just an adult. I'll use question marks for now. Lived in an urban center and was set up for success, even if their personality... This is me giving like a vague idea. This might change over time as well. The nice thing about not having a GM is you can go back and change things. Although you probably shouldn't. I think once you stick with the decision, you should stick with it. So I'm gonna try and keep this a little vague as well too. That way I have room to like spread out. Set for success, even if their personality didn't lend itself well to... I almost think it's a family thing. Family business. I'll leave it like that for now. I think that's all I know about our person for now. Let's see. What's next on the docket? Let me go find my document. Right, and then where do we want to start on the map? Let's see. This one I'm actually going to roll a d12 for. This is my 1d12 roll of the night. Because if I look at the map on the left-hand side, you can't see the full map, I think, because there's some parts that are cut off. But that's actually the map for the game. And we get to start at one of those locations. The game also doesn't tell us anything about any of these locations that we're at. It's more just you have to guess based on geography and things like that. Which I think is a pretty good exercise for me, given I want to start GMing things. Hello, Matthew. Welcome in. Oh my gosh, thank you for the 5 stream streak. Hi, Buddha. Hope you are all doing well. We are just getting into it, basically. Choose a personality for the... Oh, wait. Where's page 4? That's 5. That's 4. Okay, wait. I've lost my order. Game flow. Travel to a region in Helan. Oh, we were doing a D12. D12. Oh my gosh, we're right in the middle. What does that look like? Let me see. I have the map right. Oh, that's a big urban center. I wonder if we're just starting our job kind of thing. Let me adjust my spot. Hi, Lily. All right, sorry about that. The thing with tabletop RPGs is I think they're also a really good way for people who have never played before, based on what I'm learning right now, to learn how to sort of describe scenarios and find meaning where you're not really given any. Because these are just shapes on a map, right? The one, oh well. I should get my pointer out so I can actually look at things with you guys. Where is that? Assets, pointer. Bring that up to the front. There you are. So this is where we're starting. We know that our character is young, is a sophisticate, which to me makes it sound like that they are more tending towards government positions or positions of high power, just based on the lore that we're given, and that they're bad at being professional. And also, I need to add this too, some sort of trauma pushed us away from urban centers. And yet we're starting at, I think, the biggest urban center. So I think we're just now trying to leave this place. Would be my guess. Of course, you could have other reasons. Why would you be at an urban center if you don't want to be near an urban center? What do I know about this place? It's probably the seat of government. It doesn't need a name, looking at what I'm reading right now. We just need to know a vague idea. Let's see. Okay. So starting in the center, we get our traveler. And that's using page 6. We need to roll 2d6 to see where they want to go. So, our traveler, whoever they are, wants to go to 6. Where is 6 on this map? Oh, that's all the way over here. I know this is confirmed to be the white sand, very much like Sable, if I remember correctly. Is that how Sable works? Is it a lot of white sand? So a lot of this is the white sand. It looks like we'll have to go over land bridge here. And then I'm assuming this is like a mountainous terrain. That's what it looks like to me. I don't know if you would consider that something else. Because I'm looking at 12, for example. It looks like this is supposed to be impassable, like a giant rock wall. So then we travel, or is it better to travel that way? We go this way. And then I'm going to assume these triangles and squares are outposts of some kind, or like a city. Not quite an urban center, but not like middle of nowhere. Which of these is more common? I think maybe the black dots are like towns, and then these are more like outposts. I'm not sure. I can't tell based on like lore, and there's no documentation about what they are. I'll just assume. Let's assume this is like more of a trading outpost kind of thing. So I imagine that there's an ability to climb up here, and then we can go that way. So that's our first stop. So we then do journey. Oh, you can't quite see that. Let me scroll up. Number 1. We are traveling from number 7 to number 6. Cross land bridge. Go to orange triangle to climb up mountain. And then for our traveler, I have to go find the page. Oh, yo. Generate the traveler's details using page 6 and take notes. Find their personality on page 7. So, oh my gosh, it's your personality. It's you. I'm driving you guys, right? You're my first traveler, right? Thanks for being my first traveler. Even though I'm pretty new to this, and I definitely don't really care what you're doing. How do you play not being professional? To be honest, when I started the game, I was like, okay, I'm probably gonna roll into something that's like very brisk, very curt, does not want to talk. And then I got probably the most charismatic option you could get, and I don't know how to be charismatic. I'm trying to imagine what a charismatic person's like, though. What do you think charismatic? Who do you think of? And if you say my name, I'm banning you. Charismatic people. Well, I also am not professional. That's the issue. Because all the people I think of that are charismatic are also very professional. Or at least that's what I consider to be charismatic. I guess it depends on who you are as a person, too. So I don't know. Yeah, okay. Let's ban this guy. Mods. Act like an 80s... Ooh, that's smart. 80s bad boy. So, like, heart of gold, but, like, rough exterior kind of thing. See, that's the character type I like. I don't know why I can't really imagine being that. Maybe I'll figure it out as I interact with the traveler. So our traveler is from 7. Roll 2d6 to see the nearby area they want to head towards. We also did that. You will also roll to know the reason behind their journey. Either they reveal it directly or your character senses it intuitively. So, let's see. We pick up our person. Let me clear this. D6. We're picking up our person while they're in trouble. They're kind of like us. Traveler. Picked them up while they were in danger. I'd like to imagine that this is technically our first job, and we weren't intending for this lifestyle. But it's hard to look into the mirror and not want to help yourself out. So while we're trying to get out of town, they're also trying to get out of town. So we take them while we're doing that. For their appearance and age range, they are roll. Gender neutral. So we can't quite tell what their gender is. Or maybe they don't have one. And then their ancestry is animalized. Oh, okay. Let me pull up the animalized. Can I zoom in on this? I can't. Perfect. Let's see. Animalized. The shortest of the ancestries with features marked by obvious animal characteristics. So then we roll again. What kind of creature are they? They are mammalian. Oh my gosh. Gender neutral cat girl. No. I kind of feel more like wolf. Or like fox. Does that make sense? Let's see. Gender neutral. Neutral. I can speak. Animalized. Wolf. Fox. Let's see. I'm not asking what kind of creature they are, to be fair. This is more like something that my character is perceiving in the moment. Or I guess I'm perceiving in the moment. I technically am my character. I just don't know who their whole story is yet. Animalized. I want to reread this one really quickly. Does it say anything about... Okay. There's no actual like details outside of that. Got it. Reason for travel. Well, they're in danger, so if it's something different than danger, that might be an issue. Let's see. We're gonna roll 2d6 for this. So 2d6. I'm not going to count that one. 10. Love or heartbreak? Well, they're in danger. They have what seems to be a lot of problems. Do we think that they're leaving to travel for love or heartbreak? Hi, Misu. Welcome in. You were just in time. We were figuring out who our traveler is right now. TTRPG got too severe and I took out a loan. What? Oh, you're describing your... I was like, are you talking about real life zombies? Sorry, I just noticed what you said. Can you imagine that was like your lore? Actually, I spent too much money on tabletop dice, and now I owe a very significant amount of money to a loan shark, and I don't have the money, so I'm skipping town. Oh, yeah. If you're just tuning in as well, we are doing our first ever solo tabletop RPG. This is called Helan, and the whole premise is that we are traveling around from place to place in this map that you see right over here, and we're trying to determine who our character is, who the people we are carrying are, and what are we going to learn about ourselves along the way. So, our person is a wolf fox. I do kind of like the idea that it's breaking hearts. Maybe the reason for our traveler, just to give a very brief recap, we picked them up while they were in danger. And we see that they're in danger and we're in danger, so we help them out. We later find out that they really liked a particular someone. Our traveler really got entangled with someone they shouldn't have. Oh, let me scroll down more. With someone they shouldn't have. And now they need to skip town before a scorned lover does something that our traveler will likely regret. On to new loves. I thought that maybe they were going to be a very serious traveler, but I guess not. Ooh, they would probably share their name, so we get to decide their name. I think, let's go with a male name. They are gender neutral, but let's see. We're going to roll 2d12. Or 2d... So we're going to roll 2d6, but the one on the left is the ones place, or the tens place, and the one on the right is the ones place. So 54. Our lovely traveler's name is Aren. A-H-R-E-N. What else do we know about them? Oh, their talent. We get to learn their talent, too. Their talent is... Animals. I was like, there's no way I'm going to get 2 ones, right? What does having an animal talent mean? If you're good at it, what does the animal talent mean? Because for some of these, the talent is like, oh, they're good at crafting, or they're good at cooking, or they're good at swordsmanship. What is the animal talent? Last character I wrote was a tabaxi sorcerer that was traveling because he thought it'd be a great way to avoid and gain money. Yeah. You always gotta outrun the loan sharks out there. Animal talent. Like a dog whisperer. Is there one that's like animal husband? Because there's farming is one of these. Maybe they're just really good at... I wanted to say horses, but in this world, horses aren't the main way of travel. It's actually hover bikes. Because if we look at the main art, you can see the hover bike here. Where do horses fit in on a... Or where do animals fit in on a desert world? Maybe animals are pretty rare because it doesn't seem like there's a lot of Well, there is a decent amount of water, but like in between, water is very hard to find, it looks like. What is your greatest strength? Animals! Yes. Let's see. Aaron is really good at taking care of animals and animal husbandry. A somewhat rare trait for a place where easy access to grains and water can oftentimes prove difficult. I think that works as a talent, right? I kind of like that. This is one of the reasons I like the rolling too, is I could very easily just go through this list and like, okay, who do I want to travel with? I want to have a story about a ghost errant who is named Pi and really wants to see their long lost love before they pass on forever or something. But now I have to think about it with Aaron now and trying to figure out what his story is. It also kind of explains the world lore too, because you guys can't see the document. There is no world lore. There's nothing here. You just have to assume. And I think that's fun. I think it's a very good... I think I mentioned this earlier. I think it's really good for training you to do DMing. Because a lot of DMing is improvising based on whatever knowledge you have, even if it's very basic. I'm not operating with a lot here, but I think we already have an idea of what this world's like based on this character and this character. You know what I mean? Alright. What is our first thing? We did used to be relying on animals a lot more. I mean, I think we still are relying on animals in some capacity, because obviously food. Not so much for transport now, of course. But I think a lot of that role that some animals used to carry now is much more of a companionship role. I think the luxury pet thing is definitely an option I could have went with, too. I think it makes sense in a very deserty looking area that animals would probably be a lot more rare, and so it would be much more fulfilling to have a pet companion when they're so rare and exotic. Oh, now I kind of like that angle. Do I like that more than this one? It could be, well, maybe the reason they say that they are out of town is because of a scorned lover, but maybe it's something else. Maybe the real reason is something went wrong with selling a pet or taking care of an animal and the wrong customer got wronged. A bird smuggler would be kind of funny. But I think because I'm going on a motorbike, that would be kind of hard for me to take any items like that with me. I will say there is a section for pets, because eventually you can get a pet, I think. I don't know how that works. I just know pets are an option. Uses birds. Ooh, using birds to smuggle is kind of cool. Maybe has criminal ties. Using falconry to deliver messages. Deliver messages. I could probably also hide the dice when I'm not using it. Let me do that. Make it a little bit easier. There we go. I like this. See, it's supposed to be a solo RPG too, but I do like having you guys give me little tidbits too. I think that helps a lot. Thanks. Let's see. What else do we know about our traveler? We got their talent. We don't need to ask the oracles anything. What is our traveler's personality? Let's see. Dice roller. It's another 66 roll. 15. Brave. That does kind of lend itself pretty well to the criminal idea. If they're like out here being a smuggler. Ah, there it is. Okay. Personality. Oh, wait. Personality trait. Brave. Although we can't see how brave. Oh, I can roll twice too. Choose a personality for more fun. Roll randomly. Rolling twice. So let's see what the second roll is. Not only is our RN brave, but they are also... I have this rolled up. Oh, okay, just making sure. 42. Why does that seem like a meme number to me? It's not 420. Oh wait, is that the meaning to life? That's kind of funny. A brave dreamer. That seems very much in line with what I was thinking for RN. Brave and dreamer. 42 is mean life. Oh my gosh, I recognize references to books I've never read before. Giving a bird a simple command like fly to a tower and putting a little delayed scroll. See, that would make me sad because a bird doesn't need to get involved. The bird just wants to live its life. All right. So we have our traveler. What's next on our list? Determine the weather and journey on page 7. 7. This is page 7. Okay. As soon as the journey towards the traveler's desired destination begins, roll for weather and event schedule. You'll play out these events in any order before reaching the end of your journey. All right, guys. What's our weather? Take a guess. This is another 2d6 roll. Please be nice. 4. Strong winds. So not necessarily a sandstorm. I was hoping for clear skies. That is an option. Well, the best one you get is pleasant, not necessarily sunny. Strong winds. I could write this in a more journal-y sort of style, like a diary, but I think I'll do... How would a DM describe it? Do I want to try and describe it like a DM? Let's see. Well, let's see what the event schedule says first. Let's handle that too. Because that might say how hard it is. Talks take place on the move. Without getting off the hover bike. You may have a talk and interaction at the stop. So, our journey... Let's see how fast it is. We get to remove a dice. It's a complete... Oh my gosh, a lot happens. Oh, this is the one with the most potential things to happen. Oh no. I thought it was going to be an easy start. Okay. Okay. How do we deal with this? 3 talks. 1 stop. 1 problem. Let's start with the first talk, I guess. How do I do a talk? How do I talk to this person? Already have a topic in mind for the traveler. Paying attention to their talent can help. If not, roll on these 3 tables for inspiration. Well, what would you want to ask Aaron if you were in my shoes? We have Aaron, who is a very brave and very dreamy kind of person. Maybe got entangled with someone they shouldn't have, whether it was a scorned lover or maybe something more nefarious. And they're really good at animals. Ooh, I wonder if maybe they do get a delivery. Let's see. Is there one about... I wonder. Paying attention to their talents can help. If not, roll on these 3 tables. Can you imagine? I think that I'll save what you wrote, Zombie, for the 3rd conversation. I think that'll be good as like a closer. But can you imagine you just meet someone, they just saved your life, and they're like, who is someone you will never forgive? Can you imagine? That's horrifying. And then they're like, Do you want me to handle them for you? I think we actually get a night stop, so we might actually save that for that conversation. You decide how your character responds. Oh, do I have to do this like a dialogue? Let me see. Ooh, we can see what tone they take, actually. Let me roll on the tone table. It does say you can choose the 3 roles, so you can choose the topic. Or I wonder... I'm seeing how I can play with the rules. You know me, rule hater. I think I'll keep my topic... Let's roll for this one, just to see what we get. So our first roll, I'm gonna ignore this number. Topic. Work. What do you do for work, Aaron? The focus is about... It's harsh. What is... I'm not sure what focus means in this case. You can't see it, but there's 3 tables here. There's your topic, so what the conversation's about. There's the focus. So maybe the core thing you figure out based on the conversation. And there's tone, which I think is how they respond to the question. Does that make sense? What would you think focus would be? If you already have the topic, what is focus? Because there's things like finished, you could do as expected, light, serious. Hello, welcome in. Let's do... Did I say harsh? It was a harsh conversation. Oh, we could do like, why in the world are you running? And that plays into our inability to be professional. We're very bad at being professional. So like, you dumb, so more like, why did you do such a stupid thing? Why did you do such a stupid job? Maybe? Something like that. And then the tone for the conversation ends up being... This is 2d6. So the combined total is 11. Hopeful. Oh. So even though we're being mean, they end up being pretty cool about it. So, how would that go? How will we play that out? We ask Aaron about their job. After they eventually reveal... you can't see it again. Let me do this. There we go. After they eventually reveal that what once seemed like a very simple animal care job is somewhat more nefarious, we, in our... What's that word for when, what is it called? It's the inability, in our crass nature, said it's pretty dumb to have such an obviously dangerous job and then get found out and think that they can just run from their past. So we're assuming that whatever their last job was at 7, it went really, really poorly. Aaron, being both a very foolhardy and ambitious, or what's the word? Not romanticizing, but sort of... What is that word? idealistic person says that even if it is, even if they make mistakes, it's worth it if they can, it's worth it if they can help fund what their lover needs. There's a more elegant way to phrase that, but I think that's what it is. Right? Let me see. Aren't about their job. After they eventually reveal that what seemed like a very simple animal care job is somewhat more nefarious, we in our crass nature said it's really dumb to have such an obviously dangerous job. When you have someone waiting for you to come home safely, they get found out, I think they just run away without consequence. Being a very foolhardy idealistic person says that even if they make mistakes, it's worth it if they can help take care of their lovers' wants and needs. I think that sounds better. I thought we were gonna play Arn as very dumb. I guess that's what I get for assuming. So that's the first conversation. And then we run into... what is it? We get 3 talks, 1 stop, 1 problem. So let's do the stop next. Okay. So for the night stop. Well, yeah, let's make that singular. It's worth it. Okay. I know grammar. You camp, light a fire, and search the surroundings for something to eat. Roll on this table to determine the result. Do you ever actually roll to get food when you're playing D&D or other games? I've been wondering about this. When I play D&D, for the most part, it's always assumed that you have rations, so it's not something we really used to focus on back when I played. I don't know if it's different for other tables, though. And of course, probably wasn't good food, because if we were doing rations, that's like hardtack, right? Not the best. It's just hard steel bread. I think if you have a ranger, though, it must be nice, because they can get food whenever they want, right? Am I remembering that correctly? Or is that Outlander? I forget. Anyway. Nice stop. How well do we do when looking for food? Boop. 2. We hunt/fish very little. It's our first time. Try to think how to word this. It's our first time being out like this after living a life of relative luxury and not having to worry about your next meal. With basically no experience, we are only able to eat because Aaron has some experience fishing. There's the animal talent. It's just barely enough. Oh my gosh, hi Ranger. Let me read what you said. Love doing food dinner. I feel like I haven't done a lot of meal scenes. That's weird. I feel like food scenes are always the more like talky moments. Although actually that's kind of funny. I'll talk about that in a second. Depends on the players. I assume that they'll make enough money to fund enough rations for at least a week. I'm gonna make them roll survival if they're in an area with little food items. Oh, okay. You're very kind, I think. There's some DMs I think out there who'll be like, you need to order every single meal ever in your life. Also, there's gonna be an ad break like now. So I probably won't advance the plot and I'll just hang out and yap a little bit in the meantime. I never like to have the plot advance in a game when I'm playing a video game. So I'll try and keep the same thing happening here. I might roll just to see what happens, but you won't miss the story because I think that's not quite fair. Thank you for dealing with ads. It's a good time to get water and stretch. Whew. It's a good chance for me to think about my character more while we're waiting. Let me go ahead and start that ad now just so we have a little bit more time. Ad. Run. Now, please. There you go. Okay, I'm gonna stretch. Wait a second. I'm very bad at tripping in this sort of situation. Oh, look at you being a DM in my chat. There's definitely no food around my character right now, though. Streets are cart to cart with vendors peddling their quick meals for the active city dweller. Smells that mix and intrigue, and after 3 days of rations, your mouth waters a bit. Yeah. Oh. Now I wish I'd had my fish and... I was gonna have, like, my salmon today. I was really excited to eat my salmon, but then I got really annoyed, so I didn't eat my salmon. And instead I just air-fried some chicken nuggies. I should not have done that. I should have done something else. I should have had my salmon. The chicken nuggies were not that good. I was gonna be salmon and rice. See, now, chicken and noodles is also good. I feel like I'm so old now for talking about, like, oh my gosh, food. But I'm trying to eat more at home. I keep telling myself this. I need to cancel my DoorDash. I'm really bad about not ordering food. I should just delete the app. I'm gonna be very big and brave, and I'm gonna delete the app after stream. I hope you're proud of me. I'm gonna be much healthier, I promise. Until I eventually relapse, of course. But at least I'm trying. I did delete League, so I think in terms of productivity, that's gonna get boosted a decent amount. If you're playing League and you're trying to quit, don't worry, I'm here with you. We can quit together. I'm holding out my hand. We can all quit League. I hope I can quit more games. Not quit more games, but I will say I've been very happy to be playing a more variety of games recently. I really like, how do I word this? For a while, I was kind of struggling with what to play because I felt like I didn't have enough to play while also having a library full of games. I feel like I've been having a lot of fun lately, so thank you guys for being here. Even if it's for a little bit or a long time. Or just like for a minute to hop in. I know this isn't the most exciting stream in the world. And even I'm yawning. But I think it's fun to try out a new sort of situation or a new type of game like this and see what it's like. And also if I can send a couple people to try out Helan too and support small TTRPG makers, I think that's pretty worth it. Like and subscribe or something. Hi, welcome back from ads. What ads did you get while you were gone? Let me set up my gaming again. Always wish I was better at League. That's how they get you. They make you think that you can get good at the game. And you can if you try. There's nothing wrong with getting good at the game. But it's painful. It's not a very fun game. And I've been playing only ARAMs recently too. And to be honest, I would probably have more fun if I was playing the regular version of League with friends, but they only want to play ARAM, and it makes me sad because I want to try and actually lock in. But you don't really lock in when you play ARAM, it's just you brain deading, and I don't want to do that. Anyway, we were talking about TTRPGs. What was my setup again for this? This was my setup, okay. So we had our night stop. We just barely had enough food. You remain silent and rest or engage in conversation while having dinner. Do you want to interact with the traveler? To do so, use the table below or ask questions with the oracle. In this context, everything is more intimate and personal. Let's see. Do you want to engage in conversation while eating dinner? Do you want to interact with the traveler? To do so, use the table below. So we're going to interact with the traveler. We're going to count this as our second conversation. Let's see. Reading. You may already have a topic in mind. So... Oh, wait. Everything's more intimate and personal. Okay. So they might be more willing to talk more about themselves. I wonder if we do bring up the has anyone betrayed you kind of thing. So let's do the topic is like I'm reading a lot of the documentation. This procedure determines whether an interaction with the traveler goes poorly, normally, or well based on your personality, behavior, and conversations. I don't really have a modifier with them though. I think it's normal. Interactions clearly failed. Acceptable interaction. We don't really know each other, so I'll give a 0. The topic will be... Where's my dice? There they are. Add a second d6 and then roll. What is that number? I keep losing my pages. Family. We went from talk about work to talk about family. Who's your lover? We'll do that one. We ended up discussing more about Aren's lover that first night. How did it go? What was the focus? 24. Seeking advice. They asked... Was it they asked for me or I asked them? Something about advice. What does the tone end up being? So the total is 7. Informative. Informative discussion about love and family. Informative. What's their name? I wonder. I'm gonna pick a name for them. The lover's name is... It's a 66 roll. 51. Kenya. Her name is Kenya. Aren asked me for advice about... What would someone who's very idealistic, very confident with their love want advice about? I don't see our characters really wanting advice on love or family. Well, maybe the family. Ah, I know what I want to do. We talked about... We ended up talking about everything from when they first met to the last time they talked. Both the highs and the lows. I asked when things seem to be at their breaking point, how do you pull it back together before it's too late? Aren, for once, seemed to take it seriously. They said, as long as there is still some amount of love left. What would you say? This is the part where you have to think about it a lot. some speck. Never consider it too late. If you think it's too late, it's never... I don't like this advice. Is it ever too late to fix something? I thought the answer was yes. But they seemed to think that so long as you genuinely try to fix things and you can prove that you care, nothing that's broken has to stay broken. Something like that. We passed out shortly after. Hard to stay awake on a hard to sleep on an empty stomach. So that's our second conversation. And then we run into our problem. Where is it? Problem. We wake up the next day. We wake up the next day to a windstorm. It's not bad enough to kick up the whole desert, but I have to remind RN to keep their scarf tightly wrapped around their face unless they want to eat sand the whole way. Problem. We have a 66 roll. Let's see. 61. Their ideology and words are intolerable to you. That doesn't quite make sense here. Does it? Well, let's see. Our character is the kind that struggles to be professional. 60. Their ideology and words are intolerable. Maybe we have a very high sense of justice, and that's why? Like, lawful good or lawful neutral kind of thing? I think you'll said that about me. They disagreed and proceeded to eat a hefty size of sand before they forced me to stop. They were intolerable the whole way. Talking about the work they had done in the city and the people that they had worked with. None of them were good people. I had half a mind to drop them off in the middle of that desert. Ah, I know what this is. Had half of mine to drop them off in the middle of the desert so that they couldn't hurt anyone else. But then I remembered Kenya. From what Aaron had told me, Kenya didn't have a clue what Aaron did for work. By all accounts, she was just a poor girl from an outskirt settlement. That was hoping to one day move to a bigger settlement where she and Aaron could live comfortably. She wanted to help people. The idea of Kenya... Oh, it's still covering it. My bad. Kenya having to sit there for weeks, not hearing back from Aaron, did something to me that I wasn't ready to deal with yet. And so I just drove the bike faster, hoping the wind would sneak more sand into Aaron's mouth. There we go. I didn't know what to do with that one. That one took a minute, but I kind of like where that went. I noticed too what I was doing while I've been doing this writing. It's kind of was originally more like we, as in like me and our character, but I think it's much more I am the character as I've been going through it, which I do like. Getting into characters is really fun. I think it's hard for some people at first. I've got a lot of experience with it, so it's not as like hard for me in some cases. That's because I'm an empath or whatever. But it's kind of fun to see other people's point of views. That said, I think this character is a little bit like me in some regards. I think I'm pretty good at being professional, but I also really, really hate corporate PR, which you could also count as a kind of professionalism, but it's the kind of professionalism I hate. I don't know anyone who actually likes it. I don't know why corporations talk the way they do. There is, of course, something to be said about faking realistic, like, being a real person. You know what I mean? Like, false, what's that word? What's that word for, like, something that's, like, real and, like, honest and true? Real... I can't think of the word right now. I don't know. But there's something about faking being an honest person. Not hope. I don't know. It's just something I don't like. I can also imagine being forced to listen to someone yap for hours when you don't want to talk to them, but they keep talking to you. I've never had someone admit to doing... Well, I have had people tell me that they've committed minor crimes, not like bad ones. I imagine Aaron's is a little bit more serious though, based on the way I'm taking it. Oh well, you know what? Video games and tabletop games reflect reality. Let's see. What's our final conversation? I think at this point we probably end up... Oh wait, I don't need to show you the map because it's right over here. We're probably about here at this point. So probably like while we're on the lift to go up. We did that one. Let's see. Third conversation. What does this one mean? I'll roll for this one as well. Ooh, or I could do just crime. Let's do crime, but then I'll roll for the focus and tone. So our focus, 65, is peace. Ah, I know I can do this already. Tone is 8. Comedic. Never mind, I don't know what to do with this. How do I word this one? Okay. As we were riding the lift to get to City 6, I finally outright asked, not asked, said that if they really care, I did the thing again where you can't see it. If they really care about Kenya, they need to give up their smuggling job. I was there to save them this time when they got in trouble. But I don't intend on ever returning to City 7. What would happen to Kenya if Aaron died in this place? Did they even think about that? Or were they too busy? No, we don't do that one. But it seemed like Aaron took this only as a joke. They started giving me this whole spiel about their new life where they take off the mantle of smuggler and proceed to give me a very detailed documentary, or no, story about an animal shelter that they and Kenya run into their old age, surrounded by many, many exotic and very illegal creatures. I hope Kenya knows what she is getting into. City 6 is only a short drive away after that. Alright. And then, let's see. Where's my... Night stop, I mean, needed. After conversations, any problems, and the night stop, you reach the destination. The traveler's gift will be tied to their talent. Reflect on page 13. So after we drop off Aaron, Kenya is actually there waiting at the city edge for them. She seems like she could do. She's the kind of person who could always do better than what she has. Alright, let's see. What gift do I get? Let's see what our question is, too. Oh, maybe that's where I get my pet. Because it does offer you to let you get a pet. Let's see where that is. Where is the pet page? There it is. Choose an animal that takes up little space in the hover bike. A desert fox, cat, squirrel, dog, ferret, hamster, skunk, gecko. What is this? I've never heard of this one before. Oh, let me not do that one. Not that one. This does not tell me what that creature is. I don't know. Let's do... Let's see. Hi, Nyar. A toad would be funny, but I think... I want a ferret. I want a pet ferret. As a token of their appreciation. Aaron offers me a ferret that probably would have just been sold off to some collector or someone who would undoubtedly treat it poorly. I don't have a name for it, let alone the proper tools to care for it. But at least I'm going to try and keep her alive. And then our reflection question is... 62. Why did I say that like it was a funny number? 6-2. What the heck? This question makes it sound like I'm dying. How would you like to spend your final days in Helan? How would you like to spend your final days in Helan? How do I word this? Get drunk? I don't know if that's who this character is. From what I've seen, so an unprofessional child who likely grew up in a position of privilege and for some reason no longer wants to be near any urban center. Traumatized by something so bad that they can never go back to something that they have known their whole life. I think I know how I want to do this. Watching the pair head back into their home. I'm alone once more. Even though I don't know. I think this is the first time I've actually truly been alone since I left City 7. Am I going to stay like this for the rest of my life? I think 18-year-olds have very big emotions still. Am I going to stay like this for the rest of my life? Just having brief moments with passerby, but ultimately staying alone. Am I gonna die like this? I don't mean to be like silly with that, because I think for an 18-year-old, I think for me it's easy to have that degree of separation because I'm playing the character and I have not been horribly traumatized into leaving a city center and then being on the road constantly. I still don't know exactly what happened to my character. But when you've lost your entire support structure in what seems to be one night, like this, the thought makes me sick. I can't go back. I can't go back to City 7. Probably not even any city, if we're being honest. And you can't survive in the desert. Certainly not alone. Caravans are caravans for a reason. I'm doing the reflecting part. As I sit back down on my bike, I still don't know what I'm going to do next. Or if I'll ever really talk to anyone again. Once again, big 18-year-old emotions. But then I feel something wiggling in my jacket pocket, and the little ferret pops its head up to sniff me. Probably already got overheated. Well, if my final days are spent driving a little ferret around, showing it the world, rather than the butcher's knife it probably would have seen tomorrow. That's better than driving out into the night alone. I should get some rest. I should find a bed. And ferret food. I maybe should have asked what ferrets eat. Uh-oh. And that's where I think the first day ends. Or at least the first traveler ends for Helan. I like that more than I thought I would, actually. I thought it'd be a lot of like writing and like questioning things. I kind of liked the character I ended up having here. It did kind of feel like a journal towards the end too. Or rather, not a journal, but more of a train of thought thing. It probably is harder to watch if you are watching, because for you, you're not really playing the character. But if you ever want an exercise in writing, I think doing a solo TTRPG is really good. Because I very vividly can imagine this character much more than I could at the very beginning. I know much more about who my character is. I still don't know who they are. But I have an idea, and that's fun. Definitely seems to be asking instead of good questions, right? There's a lot of questions that you guys can't see on the document for reflection. But there's a lot of fun questions on here. I think you could make a really cool story if you keep playing this. I think I'm going to leave it for now at this day. I might do this off screen offline for myself whenever I need to like focus on something or just want to try it out. This is fun, actually. I actually had a lot of fun. Oh wait, I didn't roll for my pet behavior. What is my pet doing? Wait, we didn't do downtime. Let me do downtime really quickly. Downtime. We're looking for someone to take care of. It's the next day after we pass out and we figure out how to feed a ferret. So while we're in our downtime, we interact with our pet. Duh. And our pet behavior is... What is our pet doing? 55. Brushing. Well, the ferret was pretty matted when I got her. So I spent the next day basically learning how to care for another life, including getting a brush that I was originally planning to use for myself and detangling to the best of my ability. I may have had, let me scroll this up a little bit, to cut some of her hair off, and she might be a little upset with me, and I still might not know what to feed a ferret, but she at least seemed to like the bread. What do ferrets eat? Are ferrets omnivores? The bread I gave her? I hope she's allowed to eat that. We're not very good at taking care of things or ourselves, but by God, we're gonna try for this ferret. I think that's it for today. If you want to try this out for yourself, if you thought maybe this would be a fun exercise for you, whether you want to try reading or writing, or just want to try it out and give people a couple bucks for trying something like this, you can find the link for Helan. If you look on, it should be in the YouTube description, and then if you use Twitch, you can do !Helan. One thing I thought was really funny when I was prepping for this stream is I looked up Helan on Google really quickly to get the itch.io page, but because I had created the waiting room for this beforehand, my YouTube thumbnail showed up in the description for how to play, or like the YouTube, like the Google description. So if you happen to look up Helan for some reason and you found my VOD and you're watching the VOD right now, hi. I didn't expect to get this far, but thank you for watching. And if you're here right now, thank you for watching. I know it's a much more low-key kind of thing that I do. It's not very visually stimulating, but I think it's fun. I hope you had fun. I really like this. If you are, let me go find the name. If you are David Lopez and you created this game, thank you. I actually had a lot of fun with it. Thank you for making it. I love the art. I love the idea of it. I love the character I made. I hope you had fun writing this. Thank you so much for letting me play. And of course, I did not show you any of the pages because I think you should pay to see this because they worked hard on it. So make sure to check it out if you're interested. Let's see. Glad you're here. Yay! I don't know if I'll do any more like this in the future, but I think if I can promote things like this, at least in some small part, I think that's a good thing to me, at least. So what did we learn about our character today? What did we learn about ourselves today? Are we good at writing? Maybe not. I still need to practice a lot more with writing. I am still working on that D&D guide. So if you're planning on being part of my D&D tabletop role world thing, I am working on that. Don't worry. I still need to run one more offline game before I can run on-screen games. I don't know if I will finish the D&D guide first or I'll run that game first. I'll probably generally let you guys know how it went in the Discord whenever I run that, so keep an eye out. Hasn't really scratched my itch but made it worse. Yeah. Yeah. There's a lot of times I'll be listening to people play D&D, because I still actually, I go in some D&D servers still and I just hang out and I just listen, and sometimes I'm like, man, I would make a great character in this situation, and I would make it worse by doing this. Because it's sometimes fun to be worse. So, actually, to be honest, if it made it worse, well, maybe if you've actually played it yourself, maybe that would help in some way. I don't know. But maybe doing solo RPGs can also help you if you don't have a party to play with too. I felt kind of like I was playing D&D in some ways, because I was imagining like the town and all that stuff. I think it's because I need to practice being a DM more too, though. So that's why I'm like, okay, I can imagine like if I was a D&D like DM, I can imagine this sort of scenario, and this is what I would do. The thing with me is that I don't really like combat in D&D. I can play in it just fine. Like, I'm not to brag, I think I'm pretty good at combat in D&D. I think I'm pretty good at the numbers without being like a munchkin kind of thing. I don't do numbers like that. But I do like roleplay. I do like setting up roleplay scenarios. So this scratched that particular itch for me. The combat part, I'll figure out how to do that eventually, because I kind of need to learn how to do that for D&D. Painfully. Oh, well. Anyway, I'm gonna let you guys go. But before that, I need to show you the schedule very quickly. So let me pull that up. Where are you? Where are you? Where are... There you are. There you are. Hi. Oh my gosh, it's me. Oh, there I go. It goes like here. Whoa. That's not right. Almost done with your essay. Oh my gosh, congratulations. I hope I was good Cocomelon for it. Go like that. There we go. All right. For the schedule, you're going to notice. Let me pull up my pointer. We did... Is this the right... This is not the right schedule. Wait a minute. This isn't right. This is last week. There we go. I was like, the art feels wrong for some reason. Oh, look at that. Monday, we did something. Under the Island. That was a lot of fun. Wednesday, we did Resident Evil Leon. We still need to do Resident Evil Leon stuff. We're doing that Sunday. Thursday, we talked to Lyric. Lyric's really cool and awesome. If you have not met Lyric before, I might low-key be rating into her, so stick around for that. I think she's still singing. If you were here today, oh my gosh, we were doing a solo TTRPG called Helan, which you can check out on itch.io. Whoa! It's only €2. That's like $2.50 USD-ish, I think. I don't know. And then Saturday, I'm not going to be here. I'm very busy. I'm a very busy girl. I have a lot of things to do. And then Sunday, this is a lie. It's not Resident Evil 4. It's more Resident Evil 2, because I did not realize that there is a true ending if you complete Claire's route. Don't tell me any spoilers. I don't want spoilers. But, you know, keep that in mind. We're going to do this. We're going to do Resident Evil. A lot of Resident Evil. I don't know when. I don't know when we're going to start. I set the waiting room on YouTube for noon EST, 9 a.m. PST. So if you're looking forward to Resident Evil, it might be around that time. It might be earlier. It might be later. So keep an eye out. I will do my best to tell you guys on Twitter and YouTube. Not YouTube. Twitter and Discord and Blue Sky in advance. So keep an eye out there. I think that's it. I still don't know what the schedule is for next week. I think it may not be as busy as this week. Because there are some things that I need to do offline. So thank you for your patience while I do some setup for some things. Maybe some IRL things. Maybe some stream things. Who knows? I don't know. I don't go here. I just show up, and then people show up, and I'm like, wow, there's people here. So thank you for being here. I'm gonna go before I embarrass myself. Thank you for being here. Once again, I will see you guys soon. I hope you all have a good night. Happy time zone. I know that I have some people here who are just showing up just now. God Eater, thank you for your first and last words of being cheese here. Unfortunately, I am ending right now. But thank you for being here. I'm gonna let you guys go. I don't know where we're rating into yet, but we'll see soon. YouTube, I think you're just gonna redirect straight into the Resident Evil stream on Sunday. So you can just hit the notification bell and you'll get notified when I go live. YouTube is fun. Anyway, I'm gonna go. Bye. See you. Bye bye.